Victor, what's up?
What's happening, Gary?
How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good. About yourself?
I'm good. We're back in the saddle.
Yep. You're not Ed.
You're not Ed. I'm replacement Ed.
Wow.
I'm generic Ed. Don't get up and adjust your rabbit ears.
Ed 2.0.
Or your Ed 2.0. Don't get the aluminum foil out.
Yeah.
This is not Ed. So you're not having technical difficulties today.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. By the way, what did you do wrong to warrant this position? What did you do wrong? Like, what did you say to Ed? What did you not do? What happened?
I don't know. We hit our sales plan, Victor. So, I mean, I guess I should probably be the guy that drew the long straw.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen this time around. So I'll have to find out from
Where is Ed, by the way? Is he on the beach somewhere?
I think so.
I can visualize him.
I think so.
Running around the beach, just
With a Speedo.
With this, okay. All right. I just ruined that whole vacation view. Okay.
Boots.
All right. So anyway, today's topic is what? It was you picked it. What's today's topic?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get to the topic, but we're going to talk about selling the gap when we eventually get to our topic this time around, and I'll fill you in a little more on that when we get there. But I think right now I'd like to see who we have in the house.
Okay. Let's peek out who's out there. You got Jason Sayer's always out there. Jason's like, I don't know, he's like a clock. Like, he's always there.
Hey, do you see that flag he's got behind him? Jason Sager has behind him?
No, I don't see the
flag. You
flag.
see that? Like, if we were to pin that screen, what you would see is a University of Michigan banner. I believe they were the national champions this year.
Are you
Victor.
from Michigan by any chance?
I grew up there.
Yeah, there you go.
I grew up
That's
there.
the bias there. We got
I
Taylor
grew up
Davis
there.
in the house. David Lutz is looking somewhat bored. He can look towards the camera with his bald head. There you go. It's like, what's up, man?
See a couple of my Midwest boys besides Sager. I see
What is up with
Michael Diaz.
Michael Diaz?
How you doing, Michael?
Mario Salerno looked like he's having a good time. That's cool. What is up with Branch 686 out of South Houston? Did he do something wrong? Like the witness protection program. You just see an outline, like a shadow of the guy. Like
That's kind
there.
of scary, like the
Yeah,
Godfather.
yeah.
I wonder if there's a goat's head laying there in the middle of the room.
Oh, that could be. And then we got Rachel Fenton. It's got the logo in the back. Yeah, what's up? Growth. Built for growth. Yeah, she's all into it. Brian, Zach, love it, man. Who else is on this side? Let me see.
A couple of my Illinois guys on here. Ben
the West
Dietz,
Coast.
Ralph Pryor. I shouldn't probably just call out Midwest folks, but, you know.
It's a little biased.
But they're getting it done, so I got to show them some love.
Hey, help me out with this guy in the bottom left here, towards the bottom left, second. ROL, like rolling on the floor. He's got the red.
ROL.
He's got the mustache with the skull cap on. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's yeah. He has no name. It says ROL. Man.
Well, look, I have to commend him for the mustache because, you know, I mean, my mustache is 39 years old, Victor. So
is it that old?
yeah,
Is it that old? That's kind of cool.
It's probably older than he is.
It probably looks that way. Yeah. Let me see. My man, wait a minute.
Where is he?
Roy Legado. What's happening, Roy?
I like Roy better when he put the glasses on.
Yeah, Roy was cool.
He was rolling in the there he is. There he is.
Yeah, and there you go. And
That's a cool customer right there.
Vince Ponce looks like he's going to arrest somebody. Like just getting somebody online, going to arrest somebody. Like put the handcuffs on that baby. So
Oh my God.
We got Ryan Crawford with somebody looking over your shoulder, man. I feel for you. Tell the person to get their own camera next time. Dude, get your own camera. Julio Cesar Bendaña.
Hey,
How'd you like to say that one for a while, man, from baseball? And now, number 55, Julio Cesar Bendaña. Damn, that sounds good.
I like that. What's his walk-up music?
I
You
know.
know, these players have walk-up music these days. What do you think he's got for walk-up music?
I would think he would go with something like a Barry Manilow, soft piece.
Barry Manilow.
I have no idea what he would go up with.
Oh my God! Hey, so speaking of Barry Manilow,
What a transition.
yeah, terrible. By the way, what's up, Steven Genther? You're tucked away on one of the last pages of my my group here, so I see more Midwest representation.
Wait. Did Jason Sayer just call you the Gare Bear?
Where are we here? What happened?
Jason
What did he
Sayer,
say?
what's up, Gare Bear? Dude, I kind of like that.
Hey, Jason,
You just need that little thing that beams out of your chest.
You're not supposed to tell my secrets, man.
Wow, the Gare Bear. Oh my God.
God dang it!
Yeah.
Now I got some splaining to do.
Yeah, you
don't
do,
I?
man. You do.
Don't
You were
I?
going to say something with your
So
Manilow
Victor's
transition.
talking about Barry Manilow, and we put something in the chat this morning about favorite concert, all-time favorite concert. And, of course, we started talking, and I don't know how many of these actually popped up on here, but if you haven't already posted it, Put your favorite concert in there. I said mine is kind of a tie between Kiss and Black Sabbath. I'm a little bit of a music fan, specifically kind of a hard rock and heavy metal and classic rock fan.
Did you ever see like Kiss up close? Like did you get a good seat so you can see what's his name, Gene Simmons, do his spitting the blood thing?
Only because the front row seats are they're not in my wheelhouse, Victor.
Okay,
those are not the cheap seats.
Yeah.
But I did meet the band. I did a meet and greet with Kiss when they were in Nashville.
With or without the makeup?
Oh, with.
Okay.
With. Yeah. And I was wearing an AC/DC shirt too.
And what'd they say?
They didn't say anything. They didn't care.
They didn't care.
I paid for the meet and greet, so I could wear whatever I wanted to. I could have wore that Speedo that Ed's wearing at the beach.
Hey, by the way, P. Bars is with me on Judas Priest. The Green Manalishi.
I love, that's my favorite song.
Oh, love that. ROL puts Beyonce.
Beyonce, huh?
I think that guy should be kicked off the chat. Just, hey, Stormy, can you take ROL off the line? Just like that.
Evan Ellis says Santana. You know, I don't think Santana gets enough love. Carlos
right.
Santana is a phenomenal guitar player, and the guy's been around since Woodstock, and he's still doing it.
He's still around, man. He's still going. So yeah. Rolling Stones, Metallica, Joshua Tree, YouTube. Nice.
Metallica at SoFi last year. Cool. I've seen Metallica a couple of times. They deliver.
Whiskey Myers. I've never heard of Whiskey Myers.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
All
Rolling
right.
Stones, Kansas City. What year? Was this like pre-1980 or post-1980?
Adele with my wife, says Jason Schneider.
Okay.
Should we get down to business here?
Yeah, we probably should.
Let's get down to business.
What should we cover first, Victor?
I think we should cover numbers, man. People like talking numbers. I like talking numbers.
Okay, I'll talk numbers, but I do have a trivia question. I want to throw this out there, kind of the last thing about music before we transition into business. So as I mentioned, I'm a music fan, and I was looking up some numbers. I decided I wanted to go against the National Hot Dog Day or Ketchup Day or Mustard Packet Day or whatever you and Ed are always doing. So I went with a music question today. So on this date in 1980, February 27th, 1980, Billy Joel won a Grammy for Best Album.
Did he?
Now we got to use the honor system here, guys. So no cheating, no Googling.
Oh, is this a contest?
This is a contest.
All right,
this is a contest. What I want to know for a $50 gift card, what was the name of the Billy Joel album that won Album of the Year in 1980?
Okay, no Googling.
No
can't Google
Googling.
it. Honor system.
No
Pete
Googling.
says, Pete Salangeli, I think. Salangay says, start the fire. Jose, Ernesto, Piano Man. John, Handa, Glass Houses. And just side note, Rafael Cabrera loves Celine Dion. Okay, let's put him and roll together. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
So we've got some good guesses, but we don't have a correct answer yet.
An Innocent Man by Ralph Pryor.
No.
No.
So
I don't know. I would have said Piano Man. I would have said Piano Man.
Yeah. So I mean, if we don't get there, it is.
52nd Street.
There it is.
Allentown.
52nd Street.
Jaime Rivero. Got it. Way to go, Jaime.
Jaime, please send me an email, ghubbard@rollins.com, and give me your mailing address, and I'll get the $50 gift card sent out to you.
Nice.
Good job on the answer.
Nice job. I wouldn't have got that.
So, all right, now that we've got the important stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about some numbers.
Love it.
We had a pretty good January, and as you can see, I have my notes on a disc profile card, and I didn't have any index cards last night, Victor, so I had to use what I had. And
the fact that you have disc cards with you is already alarming enough.
How about that?
But go ahead.
How about that? So for January, pretty good showing as a company. We delivered $16 million in pest control sales for the month of January.
Nice.
That was a 9% increase over the same time period last year.
Big numbers.
Big, very nice. OC3, our folks on the call center, Victor, they delivered a 14% increase, which is phenomenal.
Tim Terrell's doing some real work over there.
I'll tell you what,
He's
man.
earning his money.
I love anybody that sells, so I love the OC3.
I love it.
And our field agents are that would be our home inspectors. We came up and our Orkin Pros, we came up 2% short of last year, so there was a little bit of a dip in our field sales, but overall 9% increase. So that was that's a pretty good showing there.
Yeah, good numbers.
How about mosquito, Victor? 30% increase over
Wow.
last year. Now, this is in January when,
Yeah.
like the state of Iowa had 3 feet of snow on the ground, or 4 feet of snow, and half the Midwest, and actually even a lot of other parts of the country got a lot of snow. Phenomenal. $4.5 million in mosquito sales in the month of January. And like I said, that's a 30% increase. And finally, our termite and ancillary sales, we dropped $24 million in termite sales.
That's amazing. Isn't that just
24 million.
amazing numbers.
Termite and ancillary.
Yeah.
That was a 12% pickup over last year. Termite liquid, the old what Ed calls the drill it and fill it, was up 7%. Our bait, kind of odd. We've been delivering some pretty nice increases with our Centricon, with our bait, termite baiting. We're down 5%, and that's not been the trend. Okay. So I'd like to call that a blip on the radar, and like to see us bounce back next month. So down 5%, but here's where we really brought it on the ancillary side of the house. We were up 20% to last year.
Double digits, wow.
20%.
That's
So some really nice numbers for January, and I think it gets us off to a pretty good start for the year. So and look,
One more time, where are we at with plan, overall on plan?
well, plan's a slightly different conversation,
Okay.
Victor.
Okay.
But I think
Are we
we
close?
were close
Yeah.
on all the lines. I didn't jot the plan numbers down here, but
Okay.
I know we were right there.
So you mentioned
Exactly.
the 2% drop.
Yes.
What do you attribute that to? What do you think it might be?
So the leads were about flat for the month of January, but our OC3 agents actually closed at a higher rate. So I think what kind of the result of that was there was less what I guess I would call trickle down or lost leads that ended up going to the field. And so I think that's a big part of why the field sales may have been down.
How about the 30%? That seemed like a big jump for this time of year. I wouldn't have expected that big of a jump.
Yeah,
What's
frankly,
going
I
on
wouldn't
there?
have either.
Yeah.
Because generally in January you don't think
No.
about mosquito. I mean, it's just not a service that you think about. So, I think one of the big contributing factors there is as a company, we've put more emphasis on mosquito sales over the past couple of years. There's been a real push. We kind of look at it as low-hanging fruit. We've got this huge customer base that, quite frankly, our mosquito penetration, we're just over double digits as a company. So there's just a ton of opportunity. We've got regions that are running campaigns, email blasts, call nights, and they're just putting a lot of emphasis on that mosquito growth.
What's call nights?
They're having inspectors, technicians, admin folks, NCSs, lost lead agents. It's an all-out blitz. We've even got regions where, up in our Wisconsin region, I jokingly refer to Tim Kramer as the Jim Harbaugh of the Midwest Division region managers, because Tim thinks a little differently. He's a little bit outside the box.
Okay.
And so so they bring everybody in. They're just bringing in everybody for these call nights, man, and they're just hammering it.
That's a nice number.
So,
Great numbers.
So some really nice results there. Yeah,
Love it.
for sure.
Pat's got to be happy.
I'm sure he is.
Yep.
I'm sure he is, because we talk a lot about, of course we talk about a lot about all the sales, but that mosquito is something that, we just continue to bring it there.
Some good numbers, man.
That really is. What do you think we ought to do next?
I think we should look at some top performers.
I think we should too.
Yep.
How about we do that?
Great numbers.
What do you think about that, Victor?
That's some
For
good
the-
numbers
for the
on
month of
there.
January, you got folks dropping $100,000.
That's amazing.
That's pretty
good
solid.
names on you. Any of these guys stand out to you?
Well, I think we, probably need to mention Gary Richmond. Not only did the guy sell $260,000 worth of business in January. But I mean, this guy's been to like probably more presidents clubs than some of the people, you know, on this call have been alive.
Yeah.
I mean, just continues to get it done. I think they refer to him down there as the legend, is what somebody told me.
Really?
The legend.
All right.
How would you like to be that
Gary,
guy?
the legend. Richmond. And I got to say, this is going to hurt to say this.
I know what's coming,
It's
folks. I
painful
know
to
what's
say
coming.
this.
Here it comes. Victor, come on.
California in the house. California killing it. Look at this numbers. You got Issa Barrett, Tyler Jones, Marlon Fuentes, Alvarado, Roberto Morales, Michael Machado. Look at this. Roy, the man, L.A. Gatto. And then you got Mason Haynes. Some good names on there. We did get a Georgia boy in there.
We did get a Georgia
Adrian
boy
Davis,
in there.
Georgia in the house.
We got a Tennessee guy in there, Dylan Jenkins. He's kind of a regular resident in that $100,000 club.
Yeah.
Region that I'm familiar with. But here's what's impressive, and like you're always picking on these Pac folks, right? Like,
I love the West Coast.
I know you do, right?
you know,
everybody knows you do. Victor.
Yes.
The Pacific team had 5 of the 11 that were over $100,000 last month.
You're just rubbing this in. You're like going for it. Did Roy put you up to this?
No.
Roy said, yeah, turn it on him.
No.
Turn it on him. Turn it on him.
No.
West Coast is definitely in the house.
I
believe I made them better.
I think you did.
I made
I
them
think
better.
you pushed them. I think you urged them on.
These are great numbers.
And yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. I guess what I'm probably disappointed in is like none of my Midwest folks are on this list.
Oh, time for a tongue lashing.
No. They know that that's not how I roll. But I think Midwest. Come on, y'all threw me under a bus, man. Coming down here to present and do this, and I got nobody on the list.
Nobody on the list, man. You should have had somebody. That's wrong.
I'm kind of hurt. You guys have hurt me to
my
my core. Can we fix that, Midwest?
The Gare Bear is feeling the pain. Man,
I'm feeling down.
By the way, shout out to the Care Call Center.
How about that?
Great numbers.
How about
Gary
that?
Frano, 179.
That's picking them up and putting them down, folks.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sales, and
Those
you know,
big numbers
from
there.
what I understand, he's been on this list for like the past 3 or 4 or 5 months in a
he's
row.
Getting boring. He's getting boring.
He's kind of a that's old news.
Yes, we got Dashell Halliburton and Michael Wentworth, Barbara McLean, and Juan Felix is on there. Great numbers. Man.
Pretty good stuff.
By the way, so what are these people getting? By the way, I mean, so the over 100,000 gets. Remind me again. Over 100,000 gets what?
Yeah. So they get, first of all, they get a 14% commission check, which is, you know,
the
really
most important
nice.
part of this whole thing.
And I might be calling Gary Richmond for a signature loan sometime in the near future.
Got
matter of fact, there's a few people on there that I might want to talk to about borrowing some money. But so the program is that our number one producer will get a $500 gift card.
I thought it was $1,000. Are you sure?
Not going there. Not going to do it.
Did you talk to Ed before
you're not going to
talk to Ed before you got on the
You're
show?
not talking me into that. No way.
Gary, I tried, brother. I tried, man. As long as everybody else gets 300, we're good, man.
100.
Oh, my bad. My numbers is just slipping, man. It's all there. It's just slipping.
100. That's what you like. That's what you have to like about Victor Antonio. He's always closing.
Yeah,
this
always
guy is
giving away
always
other
closing.
people's money.
That's
By the way,
right.
somebody here is saying to me, Tyler Residori is saying, look, I sold 104K minimum January, got skipped on the list. Teary-eyed.
All
right, man. We'll have that. I don't know.
Okay, sold or completed? Because this list is
Tyler's up there. He's in the upper. Tyler Wave. He's in the upper. That's the guy waving right there. The guy that looks pure Orkin right now with the mustache. So we'll have to look at that.
Hey, Tyler, if it was sold but not completed, that would be the difference. I don't know if you had 100,000 completed, but if you did, I want to apologize to you for the omission.
Yeah.
That is not how we roll.
Okay.
And
we will check the books, check the stats,
right.
and get back to you.
That's exactly right.
That's all he wants. Just get back to me.
However, either way, good job on a $104,000 month.
Yeah.
You know, like I told Victor, I love anybody that sells, and I love you, brother.
Yeah. Issa, thank you for the shout out, man. Yeah, ABC always be closing. Excellent numbers. Congratulations.
Yep.
I mean, wonderful numbers. Seriously, big shout out to the West Coast. I always pick on them. You know I love you, man. Well done, man. Great numbers, man.
Yeah, Central Cal
Yeah,
with
well done.
with 3 of them. And
They did well, man. They did well. Like I said, they're beautiful
know.
numbers.
Good job. Good job to everybody.
Kind of right, just takes it out of me, though. I got nothing to complain about. It's like, that's usually my go-to, but not this month.
Yeah, you should have heard
Yeah,
him. You
yeah.
should have heard him before the broadcast. He was talking about how he was going to have to show that Pacific team some love, and he really didn't want to do it. So y'all earned this one.
Yeah,
you need to
all
cherish.
right, all right, I'll say something nice.
You need to cherish this for sure. For sure.
Well done.
Well,
Well done.
what do you think we ought to discuss next, Victor?
I don't know. You had a topic in mind about selling, and you wanted to talk about something about a gap.
Yes, selling the gap is what I want to talk about. So you shared with me a different definition of the gap. What was that again? Something about a taxi or a train?
No, when you go to London, they say mind the gap.
Okay.
And usually when the train comes and then you're on the platform, there's a gap between the train and the actual platform. So they always say mind the gap. In other words, look out, make sure you don't fall into that gap, or at least get your toe in there.
Okay.
Bad things might happen. So mind the gap.
Mind the gap. Okay, well in sales, we have to mind the gap as well. And what I'm talking about when I talk about the gap, so lead season is kind of upon us. Some of you may already be experiencing an increase in termite leads. And really what I'm talking about here is termite lead season, which typically happens about this time of year. As soon as the weather breaks, we start seeing more calls for termites. And it goes against everything that I teach, because I'm going to talk about a single service proposal here. I'm just going to reference termites. But if a customer, let's say Mr. Antonio calls us for termites. He has termites in his house, or he thinks he has termites in his house. We're going to go out to the house, and Mr. Antonio probably also called 2 or 3 other companies. So we're going to be one of several. And there's going to be a difference in price. Typically, Orkin's the highest. And so we don't really need to sell our price per se. We just need to sell the difference between our price and the competition's price. That's what I'm talking about when I reference the gap, Victor.
And it is true, because it's a mindset thing also, right? If it is, let's say, $1,000 difference, that's all we're selling. We're focusing on building that.
That's right.
My question to you is, when you find yourself in that situation, you've been around long enough, how do you close that gap, the value gap? Like, what are some of the things you do?
Well, there are several ways that you can do it, and probably my favorite is closing with RAC, because I'm a big proponent of RAC, as some of you on this call know, and probably grow tired of hearing about, quite frankly. But RAC is the way we do it. And I call RAC the great equalizer as far as what we bring to the table, because very few, if any, of our competitors do that. And we'll set them up on a 5-year protection plan, and they're just not getting that with the other folks. So RAC is my go-to, Victor, when I'm selling the gap. But I mean, there are other ways that you can go about it as well.
Give me a couple more.
Well, I think one of the ways that we can do that is by just talking about our quality audit when we go out to the house.
Do you think people really because everybody says that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you do a quality audit. I mean, is there real value in there? That's the question I always have when I hear that.
Well, I mean, I've sat at enough kitchen tables with folks, with inspectors, and even running solo, where that's a big deal. In my experience, the service after the sale is something that a lot of people they kind of sit up and I've even had people ask, hey, tell me what happens when they come out to the house. Who's coming out to the house?
Right.
What do they do when they come out to the house? So that's service after sale, and that's what folks are looking for.
You mentioned
and a lot of our
about
competitors don't do that.
You mentioned something about when you come out to the house. Here's a question I've always often have, and I don't know if you could put a number to this. Maybe you can, a percentage. What I love about the Orkin uniform, literally love about it, is that once you see that Orkin uniform, I don't know, I feel either safer or something's about to go down in a good way. And so how much would you attribute to, may I generalize and say appearance, which is the uniform, the look, the presence? If you were to assign a percentage point to that in terms of a close rate, in fact, I'll throw the question out there, what would you assign to that, in terms of a percentage close rate? I got the look, I'm clean, shaven, whatever it may be, I got the uniform on, what would be the percentage?
Kind of like what Ed talks about, bringing it perfect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard varying guesses on that.
Yeah.
I've heard 25%, I've heard 10%.
Yeah. What do you guys think? What is that?
Yeah,
What is that?
I'd like to hear
uniform?
I'd like to hear from you all. What do you guys think? How much does appearance matter? You know, I had a vendor, while you guys are answering the question, we had a couple vendors out at our house a few weeks back. We had our mini split unit go out in our basement and our inline water heater both literally within days of each other.
That's pain.
And it
Financial
stinks.
pain.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. Fortunately, one of them offered me their version of RAC, so we were able to do that.
Okay.
And that was a gap, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
The other guys wanted money up
Right.
front. These guys said, no, let's go ahead and get this taken care of, and we'll set you up on 24-month interest-free.
Nice.
Hey, you had me at interest-free.
That's right.
You
That's
had
right.
Me, you had me at interest-free. So, so what kind of responses are we getting?
Well,
here?
let me see. Mr. Marlin says a lot. Thank you for being very quantitative about that. It says, one says, it's a third of the process, says Ryan Crawford. Jason Watson says it matters. Issa Barrett, he's on the list, so we have to kind of listen to him. 50%, a clean half, he's saying. There's got to be something to that.
Ben Dietz up in Illinois says 20%.
Okay.
How about Steve Genther? He says appearance is everything. It sets the tone for everything you say.
There you go. There you go. ROL, rolling on the floor, says first impression is everything, along with Jose Ernesto Aguilar. Same thing. So, yeah, I agree with that. I think there's something about trust. That uniform, represents, because it's been around so long. By the way, I'm giving you my outside perspective because sometimes I think the folks in Orkin may take it for granted what that uniform means.
Yeah.
To a consumer like me, when I see that, I'm like, pro.
Yeah.
Immediately pro.
Well, there's certainly, it's brand recognition for sure.
Yes, it is.
There's no question who you're dealing with when you see the Orkin uniform. That's just
powerful
one of those
brand.
unmistakable uniforms.
Yeah.
And full transparency, when I first came to work for the company, I didn't really care for the red epaulets.
Really?
It took me a little. Honestly,
was this a little too much?
I'm just being transparent. Man.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of getting used to, but the longer I wore the uniform, not only the more comfortable I became with it, but the more pride I took in it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that we just not underestimate the value of what that uniform represents, because it means a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. So that's certainly that's another differentiator. It's another way to sell the Gap.
It is iconic. Do you know what I mean? It is
For sure.
iconic. Like certain things you just recognize, you go, that's the brand.
Yeah.
And I venture to guess that some of the competitors would love to have that type of brand recognition.
I'll bet they would.
Yeah.
I'll bet they would.
A lot of agreement here on appearance represents the company, first impressions. ROL, who's actually D'Angelo Mason, is on it as well. Important that, Jason says, important that we look the part when proposing, but also important we look like a tech when crawling and inspecting. Yeah.
Oh, can I tell you a funny story?
Dude,
so that came from Jason Sire in Cookeville. And I know Jason well because I spent the first 15 years of my career.
Is it Sire or Sayer?
Sire.
It is Sire. Just want to be sure. Okay. Sire. I keep saying Sayer for some reason.
Yeah, and I got to know Jason really well. In fact, when I was a branch manager trainee, I was sent to Cookeville for a couple of days to ride with Jason. And he was, obviously, he was only a couple years into his Orkin career, and I was brand new. I didn't know what I didn't know at that time, Victor.
Gotcha.
So I rode with Jason, and I got in the car, and the first thing he told me was, we're going to go ahead and suit up. And I looked down, I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And he's probably laughing right now. I can't see him on the screen, but I'm sure he's laughing at this because he probably remembers the story. So I looked down, and I'm like, well, we're in uniform. Like, what do we need to do? He says, no, we need to put on our crawl suit and our knee pads and our bump cap and get out our gloves and our flashlights and our...
We're going in, baby. We're going in.
He said, we're knocking doors in full crawl suit and Webster pole
wild.
and
That's wild. That's wild.
cobwebs all over the uniform. And I said, well, what are we doing?
Right.
I haven't seen this before. This was so unorthodox for me.
Yeah.
He said, we're putting on our flare. He called it flare. So if you've ever seen the movie Office
I know what
Space,
you're talking. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We're putting on our flare because when we knock on a door, we don't want the customers to see a starched white uniform. We want to look like we're hard at work underneath houses.
Got to have your
helping
flair.
people take care of their biggest investment.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me.
So does every Orkin representative have a flare kit? Like you take it out, you spray, there's cobwebs on you, throw some roaches on you, just like some dead roaches, obviously, and you walk in, this is my flare.
Yeah, so full
Let's
disclosure, Jason didn't spray anything on himself. There was
Okay.
none of that.
This was real
This
Flair.
was real legit.
This was authentic. I got it from the woodshed Flair.
Pulled the crawl suit right out of the trunk and put the crawl shoes on. For those of you who don't wear crawl shoes, like that's a thing. And so had a. I've told that story 100 times.
By the way, I like Chris Anderson's answer. Suited and booted. It just sounds so
like
much
it.
more, than Flair. I don't know.
Steve Gether said, we need to talk about your flair.
We need to talk about your Flair. That was a great movie, by the way, if you got the reference.
That is so good, man.
All right.
So good. All right. So any other questions about selling the gap? Any other thoughts?
I think we're good. I think
Okay.
we're pushing time and want to get these guys back to selling.
Okay.
Last words on your part.
Well, so for my wrap up, a couple notes that I made. If you haven't watched or listened to rather the Hayden Holmes and Jason Sire podcast, I'm not a real big podcast guy, and I gave it a listen, and I'm going to tell you guys it's worth the 30-minute listen. I'm usually more of a YouTube content person, or get a lot of stuff off LinkedIn and that sort of thing. I kind of have to watch it rather than listen to it. I tend to get more out of it. I'm that type of learner. But it's a really good, I think it was 33 minutes with Hayden and Jason, and I was locked in the entire time. Probably helps that I know Jason. We've got some history, so. But it's a really good listen. I would suggest that you guys check that out. I do want to thank my Midwest team for a phenomenal January. You guys really brought it. I guess because I have the stage right now, I can do this. I want to thank all of you, but in particular because I'm part of the Midwest team, I want to thank you guys for bringing it. We did well on all three fronts, on res, PC, commercial, and termite, and so I want to thank them for phenomenal.
Can I do something? Can I do something?
Yes.
Say, Stormy, can you put the camera on me? Since he's doing thank yous, I'd like to thank the California folks out there for doing exactly everything I told them to do and executing on every single detail I provided you. No, you don't need to send me any commission check money. Just want to let you know I appreciate you. Okay, back to you.
All right, very good, very good. So I do want to, before I was so rudely interrupted by Victor, I do want to thank you guys for a great January and what's shaping up to be maybe an even better February. We're really out of the gate strong, and I want to thank you guys for that. And I guess my last thought, Victor, we probably don't talk about this one enough, but if you guys have not thanked one of your Orkin pros today or recently, for that matter, go do it. Give them a call, meet up with them, buy them lunch, buy them a Coke, buy them a Gatorade. Just make sure that we show those guys our appreciation for them, because we could sell all the business we want to sell. If it doesn't get done, y'all ain't getting paid. I hate to kind of put it like that, but that's really how it is. And so make sure that you show those guys your appreciation.
I agree.
So
unsung heroes sometimes.
Yeah, they really are. They I just don't think they get enough recognition for what they do. So let's make sure that we do that. Everybody do me a favor and make sure that you do that. Anything else, Victor?
No, I just want to thank you for being here while Ed's on vacation somewhere.
Replacement Ed. Call me Discount Ed.
Discount Ed, or just basically, I don't know, Gare Bear.
Gare Bear.
That's just wrong.
Unfortunately, I have a feeling that might stick around for a while.
Yes, it did.
Thanks, Jason.
All right.
Victor, we're out.
All right. Thank you, guys.
See
Have
ya.
a great week.